Oh, here we are outside again. This is in the morning. It's a quiet morning. There's not much wind, but I'm doing the firmament again. Here we are is the blue sky, the Raqiya, the firmament, the expanse, and it's Shamayim. And Mayim is water, and that's what's up there. And there's a barrier there holding that water up. Now, the thing about that people don't realise or know is this. Right, in 1956, a guy named Admiral Byrd went down to Antarctica on an exploration. He did an exploration, came back, went on TV, said about what was down there. You can look it up on YouTube if you want to see it. Admiral Byrd, that's all you have to enter. And then he went back down there again in 1957, and this time had problems with with planes crashing, and he couldn't understand why. So they went to see where these planes, because they never came back, and they found wreckage. So, and they went a bit further, and then they found this barrier, and it flexed. It was a flexible barrier, right? But he actually proved it. There was a few people with him, not too many, all right? And he went back and he's told the government that this barrier existed. And this was in 1957, right? Okay. In 1958, they locked up Antarctica. I mean, made treaties with 150 nations. No one was allowed to go in where the UN banned it. Not allowed to go down there, not for any reason. No mining allowed. No nothing, right? And then the year later, 1959, Operation Fishbowl began. Now that was using nuclear weapons to try and penetrate that barrier right up there that you see right in front of you now. That is which is the firmament, right? The expanse. They sent up their missiles, the Americans did, to try and penetrate it. They did that for 9 months and failed miserably, because all that happened is it exploded at the point of the missiles hit the expanse, hit the firmament, and then the energy was absorbed. So none of the energy came back down here to hurt the people. No, it was absorbed by this firmament, this expanse. Okay, and they did that for 9 months and failed and couldn't get it to work. So after that, what do? Well, they had to do a rethink. Well, what are we going to do? And then, they didn't do much for another 2 or 3 years because they had a problem, and that was Mr. Admiral Byrd. See? Because Admiral Byrd knew about the expanse. He knew that it was a barrier. He knew you couldn't go through it. So they couldn't do their space race crap. So they had to get rid of him first. So in 1962, Admiral Byrd died. And after that, the space race began in earnest. Okay, that's what happened. It began in earnest. And everybody was, the Americans started their space race and the Sputnik and all the rest of it. And it all started there, and then they had the emissions, and it was all rocketry and fancy rocketry and everything like that. It was a grand stage show, a grand deception, and it all was on TV. So because people saw it on TV, they thought it was real, but it wasn't. Kubrick was the one responsible, the man who made the movie, the Space Odyssey, the 2000, the Space Odyssey, was the man who made the film on the real movie about the space exploration and about landing on the moon. I mean, it was just, this is how it was. This is how it was, And then, and the reason they did the space race was to bankrupt America, which has happened, you see, because the Catholic Church thought that America was a haughty, bitch. That's what he thought. That's what they thought. And we have to destroy this power that's going to be the superpower, which is coming up and is going to take away and usurp our authority. So that's what they did. They bankrupted it, and it's bankrupt today, you know. But, you know, but it's all smoke and mirrors anyway, so we'll have a financial reset. The only ones who are going to lose in that is who? The little people. The grand majority, of course. So, the firmament, the Raqiya, is right there. It's blue, colour of water, you know. And when you go to the sea, you can just look at the sea, and you look at when you're on the ocean. Like I've been on an ocean liner, right? I've been on an ocean liner, so I know. And you can't tell the difference between the colour of the sky and the colour of the water. They look exactly the same because there's water above, just as it says in Bereshith. Just as it says in Bereshith, okay? So you see that there's reasons when and human beings have got to pull their smoke and mirrors. They've always doing their smoke and mirrors. That's just the way it is because we're living in this matrix, you know, that's overlaid over top of what the sovereign of the earth, you know, made. And yes, I live in the country, so I see it all the time. So it's you know, I'm not ashamed to say about this because it is the truth. Okay, but man lies and deceives, and that's what he does, trying to hide the truth, which is what they did down in Antarctica. That's why they looked it up, because they don't want no one even knowing that the thing up there, nothing comes in, nothing goes out. That's as simple as that. It's a barrier. We're living in a cube. It's a cube. Law of water. Water goes what? Has to find its own level. That's how it behaves. It's a law. That's how it behaves. And that's it. Anyway, I think I'll call that quits now. I think I've explained enough about this. This is the firmament. This is the expanse. It's a nice fine day today, and I think yeah. You have now heard a bit from me about what I think about that.